everyone.
Hey, hey.
Hello.
Hello,
Hello.
everyone.
So we also have behind the scenes, we have Antishir, also known as George, playing some SpeedRunners 1 with Emil, Casper, and Gert-Jan. They'll all be playing together. We will not be showing any SpeedRunners 2 footage or gameplay in the stream. This is strictly a Q&A for you to spend an hour asking
Uh,
questions in chat.
there's no audio. It looks
It
like
works
there's no
now.
audio. Okay, sorry.
Okay. Where did we miss? So yeah. I don't know what you guys might have missed here. But so what we'll do is we'll be spending an hour doing a Q&A. You can ask any questions you want to the developers of both games. And we'll start while we wait for questions to roll in, which they're already coming in. But we'll start with our first question for Double Dutch is, what was the inspiration behind SpeedRunners, the original?
Yeah, I'll take that one. I think Speedrunner started off as a Flash game, like a browser game you can play for free in the browser, and the original inspiration was just I wanted to make a browser game, and I went online, and there was this forum where people would commission people to make a game, and a guy said, "Yeah, I want to have a platformer on my website with a maybe like a wall jumping and a grappling hook or something like that. I don't know." And I thought, well, that's actually an interesting idea. I'll just go and make that. Um, so that was first a just a single player. You have to finish the level from A to B as quickly as possible, just a platformer game. And then Gertjan joined the team, and we decided to make it a local multiplayer game as well, so that you could race against each other. But if you're making a local multiplayer game, then you have multiple people on the same screen, and you get this split screen type of gameplay. But with speedrunners running through the world so fast, it doesn't really work well in split screen. And so we had the idea to just have everyone on the same screen and have the goal of the game to be outrun your opponents so that they fall out of the screen. And when we implemented that, yeah, it was just like it clicked, and the game was just instantly super fun.
Nice. Okay, so we have a lot of questions already, so we're not gonna go with our list. We're gonna jump straight to it in the chat. So the first one here we have from Mr. Menin. Will there be a storyline like in the first part, which I'm guessing the first game is what they mean for the second game? I'm assuming that's a question. Maybe there will be an extended version or a continuation. Is that something we can talk about yet? That's
Yes, for sure. Yeah, there will be a continuation to the story. We will extend what it was established in the original game. So yeah, we'll share more details, more specific details on the story in future updates. But we'll definitely expand on the story and give the world more flavor. But yeah.
nice. So there's a lot. So I'm just gonna jump straight to it. Is there what is the plan for new content? And another question is, will it be cross-platform? This is for speedrunners too, of course. Yeah.
Yes, we are working on cross-platform version. We will confirm in a future update as well.
And will there be, let's see, some characters from the base roster? Will some old characters return to Speedrunners 2 and Civil Dispute roster return? Sorry, that was weird order of wording that.
Yes. Yeah. The answer is
Okay.
yes, basically. I thought you were going to say something else, so sorry.
Oh, no problem. um, let's see here. Okay, we've got a question. What are all of you's favorite characters? And will Maneki Neko be back?
Maneki Deko. Yeah, for me, the
Yeah. Gert, yeah, can you jump online on Steam so you can play some speedrunners
Right.
with
Let me see.
George?
I may be offline.
Will Scout return? We have a lot of questions about returning characters and returning maps. What will happen to the old rated custom maps? Will you update them? Will you add them to the game too?
Okay, for custom maps, we're planning on having. We'll eventually add that later on in the game, but in the first version, we're gonna have the original maps and new maps available. And as the game gets future updates, we'll update with the new map editor. That's the plan.
And I don't think we finished going through everyone's favorite characters. I'm sorry. I got distracted by chat. Who's next?
I could answer that. Yeah, I think my favorite character from the original game is probably Cosmonaut Comrade. I think it's a very funny concept.
Did everyone go? Okay.
I think I'm just Gurchin.
We can move on to next questions. Let's see. Will Scout return? He is the first one, so if he does, I'm buying the game in a heartbeat. And then will licensed characters make a comeback in SpeedRunners 2?
That's a great question. We are planning to. We have some plans to bring more characters into the game, but we'll comment on that in future updates.
Are the grapple physics going to be the same?
So for everything relating to physics and gameplay stuff, we actually worked quite extensively to try to get our physics as close to the original game as possible. So we did a lot of work on that. They will be like it's a different engine, but we still try to emulate all of those physics as much as we could on the new engine. And as far as we know, so far in the feedback we've gotten, everything feels like pretty good. So I guess that's a yes.
There was a question here about the system requirements that are currently displayed on the Steam page. Are they subject to change for SpeedRunners 2?
As we have more to share,
Okay.
basically.
On the topic of graphics and whatnot, there's a question on will we be able to manually adjust the brightness, density of the new 3D backgrounds and to change the appearance of grapple ceilings, jumpable walls, and jumpable walls?
That's a great question. So SpeedRunners 1 had lots of customization. We want to bring as many as possible to this game. So yeah, we'll basically have as many customization color options as possible. And we're looking into adding that for release. But if it's not added for release, then we'll add it as we have as we get more updates in the game. But yeah, we will definitely add as much as customization as possible.
Oh, it sounds like we had an audio problem for a minute. And yeah, any new items?
That's a great question as well. Okay, yeah, we've listened to the reception and the feedback, and yeah, there will be new items. We're going to reveal them soon as well.
Okay, so I'm going to jump around the chat here. We've got a question about. I want to know what the devs think about specifically the character Showtime coming back. Any word on him would relieve me. Oh, the character Showtime.
So there is no plan in bringing Showtime at this moment, but we can add it if we see that there's lots of people that want it. So yeah, we can add it back if that's a thing you guys want.
Someone asked, when did you guys start development on SpeedRunners 2? I'm guessing it's SpeedRunners 2 is what you're asking, but we can also ask about SpeedRunners 1 when you started that development too. But yeah, they didn't specify. Sorry.
Okay, I'll go again.
Yeah.
So we started developing Speedrunners 2 around, I think it was around July of last year. So yeah, basically around that time, July, August.
Okay, here's a popular one that's coming up a lot. Will there be any new gameplay features, or what game, like what?
Slightly like more lenient, and we will also have like some tutorials to teach these advanced skills to the player, because we think that instead of like making the game like simpler, we want to make those like more complex techniques and stuff like easier to learn for the player, so that those things that people have worked on learning for so long can still be there and also like be learned for more people. So we'll have like different tutorials and ways to teach players more stuff, and we will also have like more um, extensive practice tools, so people can also work on their game, like on their gameplay in a more efficient way. And then regarding new features and stuff, Diego has already mentioned the idea of having new items at some point. So a lot of new features and stuff, we will be listening to like feedback, and we will adjust, adding like new features depending on what the community wants.
I'm so sorry, Diego, but I think the audio cut out midway through. They might have missed some things that you said. Some people asked if you could repeat. Do we need to repeat that? Yes or no? Everybody in chat. Sorry, Diego.
I think that was Emil, right? Emil, you wanted to go
Oh,
to
sorry.
your...
My bad.
No
I just saw
problem.
the wrong person speaking into my camera. Yeah, Emil, sorry.
Okay, let me see if I remember what it said. So I believe one of the things that I mentioned was that we're working on. We already have like a lot of the advanced techniques that the first game had, and one of the things that we're working on is to give people like more ways to discover and learn those techniques. So we're working on like tutorials, so that we don't want to like lower the skill ceiling of the game. We still want to keep like all of those advanced techniques and tricks that make people go super fast, but we want to be able to teach players how to do them as well. Like, so we want to have like in-game tutorials for them to learn all the different ways they can like gain speed, how they can like keep that speed, and then like other super advanced techniques that might have been like a little bit too complex to learn. We have like tutorials and stuff for people to actually learn them with like stages made specifically for learning those techniques. Aside from that, I think I also mentioned the new items that we're going to be looking into what the community wants as well, so that we can like add different gameplay stuff that is being asked for by the community.
Nice. Okay. Everybody's yeah. Character abilities or maybe perks. And then I saw another question about items. No, not items. What was it? Character abilities. That's what it was. Sorry, let me jump back to. Okay. Will there be new items or new item interactions?
Yes, so we're designing new items. We're going to be adding new items. I know it was one of the most requested features when we announced the game last week. So yeah, we'll definitely be adding more items.
Okay. So many questions about which characters will come back. In that case, is it possible to share some or all of the roster at this point for Speedrunners 2?
We don't want to
Yeah.
spoil the surprise just
Mhm.
yet, so you'll
Fair.
just have to wait. But
Okay.
right now, confirmed, we have the four that we showed in the announcement, which are Hothead, Speedrunner, of course, um, um, Moonraker, sorry, and Unique, of course, which is my. Well, I love Unique as well. I said Hothead before, but I think Unique is my favorite.
How will collisions work in the new 3D, 2D style?
How collisions work? Okay, I think that's a question for Emil.
Um,
They just
that's
work.
actually a question for the developer team, actually. So I'm part of the game design team. I don't know about the whole backend stuff of how this stuff works, so I can't answer that. I'm sorry.
They basically work as just in the first game. We have a 2D collision system, which basically we just have a 3D art on top of it, but it's actually 2D collisions, just like in the first game.
Mhm.
And there were questions about a map editor. If there will be a editor in an update.
Okay, we don't have a map editor right now, but it's in the plan, and we know it's a big part of the Steam community and a big part of the first game. So we're working on a map editor right now, and we'll let you know when that's going to be available as well.
And then there was a question on, should we expect a major revamp of the current ranked system?
We actually did. We have redesigned the different like level and experience gain systems. There will be more information on that because we still haven't like fully implemented that. So there might be like some changes to testing and stuff like that. But there is a redesign of the different experience and level game systems. Yes.
Okay. Will there be abilities or perks for characters? I know that was asked earlier, but maybe we can repeat just in case it was missed in the audio.
Mm-hmm. So it is something that we have actually thought about. It is not something that is currently in the game or something that is like planned to be done yet, but it is something that we have definitely talked about. It's definitely like a little bit more complicated because at the moment characters are pretty much like skins. They don't have like any physics differences. They don't have like any sort of advantage to them. So people can just play with the character they like the most aesthetically. So adding like different perks or stuff like that could alter the game's balance. So it's definitely something we would need to think a lot about before we implement it. It's not out of the table. I think we could still like analyze it and see if there's like if people like enjoy the idea, we can definitely look into it. But for the moment, we still haven't like implemented something like that.
Any thoughts on new game mode types like laps, and any plans on team modes like 2v2v2 or the like?
So yeah, we're currently planning on new game modes. For this game specifically, we just announced that we are going to have the 8-player mode, which is total chaos, and it's really pretty hectic and fun. So that's one of the new game modes that we are announcing. But we'll definitely be working on new game modes and announcing new game modes in the next few months.
And going back to some questions about system requirements, while just to answer that, there is system requirements posted on the Steam page, but there was a question about, will it be able to run on low-end PC or will it require a good computer, and or will there be optimizations or changes that so that it doesn't require 16 gigabytes of RAM to work?
Yes, we're specifically aiming for any medium to high end computers, so you won't require like the latest NVIDIA video card to play it or anything. It's pretty optimized.
And is the rewards from levels Will they be random? And then there was another question related to that. Will you give players rewards for playing overtime, kind of like Battle Pass?
Okay, to answer the second question, yeah, we're looking into progression, into how we are going to what we're going to offer to the player, and again, we're gonna announce that in a later date. But yeah, we'll definitely add progression to the game. And the second question was, sorry, the first question. Can you repeat that again? Sorry.
Repeat it. Yeah, the question was, is the rewards from levels, will the rewards from levels be random? I'm not sure if that's makes sense. Maybe it's incomplete.
No, I think I know what they mean, but
okay.
Regarding that, I don't think it's planned to be random at the moment, but we're still looking into like how we're going to be rewarding the players with the progression system.
Will there be an open beta?
Yeah, I think we're gonna have an open beta. I think that's a tinyBuild decision, but we definitely want to have an open beta.
And how will 8 players work?
So basically, regarding 8-player mode, we still have like the same stages that you would play normally with like 4 players, but instead you have like 8 players. So it's definitely a lot more chaotic, but we feel like that's just part of the fun. It will definitely not be like a competitive mode for sure. It's more like something you can like gather up with like a bunch of friends and play together. Because it's definitely quite chaotic, but it's quite fun. We have play tested it a bit, and we definitely have a lot of fun with it.
I saw a question earlier about the game engine, and then there's also a question about if the netcode will change regarding pings.
Okay, yeah, I can answer that. Yeah, so the game was totally made from scratch. We created a new netcode for the game and everything, but we went back into the original code of the SpeedRunners 1 game and just made sure that everything felt exactly like it felt in the first game. So we kind of reverse engineered the first game, which is really crazy and really cool, and we added that to our game engine.
Yeah, an important answer regarding the netcode. We actually have rollback in netcode for this game, so the online experience is very fluid and feels pretty good to play.
So George wants to play SpeedRunners 1 with you guys. Who's able to hop on? I don't know if he's setting up the invites, but
I think George is already in the lobby with me, Gertchen, and Symphonia.
Oh,
Okay.
that's me. Hello. Yeah.
You guys can. Yeah, you guys can play. I'll keep asking questions if you can multitask, play and talk, if that's possible.
I'm not very good at multitasking, but I'll give it a try.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you need to come back after, we can be like, okay, let's do the next. Just let me know.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Go ahead, George. Kick it off. Let's see here. How do you feel about the reception and history of SpeedRunners 1? How did it influence 2? I saw a question earlier, and this might be, I don't, yeah, could be for any. Sent invites. Invites have been sent. George said. What was the inspiration behind basically making the second game? Like, whose idea it was? I don't know who that question would be particularly for. I think it might have been tinyBuild's idea.
Yes.
Should I answer that? Oh,
yeah,
go ahead.
please go ahead. No, go ahead, Tom.
Okay. So yeah, I'm Tom at tinyBuild. I've been at tinyBuild like 15 years since the beginning. I was working on SpeedRunners 1 years ago with these guys. I did some of the ad work. I did a lot of the ad work. We've wanted to do more SpeedRunner stuff for like ages and ages and ages. I think it's always been an ongoing thing at tinyBuild of like, where's new speedrunners? And everybody asks, where's new speedrunners? And we had talked to a ton of people about working on a new speedrunners, like what would it be? Every trend that multiplayer games have gone through in the past like 10 years, it's like, oh, what if speedrunners was like this? Or like totally different ideas of what it was. But it kept coming back to like, I don't know, we'd like to just play speedrunners the way that like the game is designed. Like I think we came up with ideas where like it was a battle royale, or it was a totally different kind of game, or it was like totally flipped. What if we changed all the mechanics? But it kept coming back to like, we got the SpeedRunners 1 is such a like well-designed game. Let's make something. If there ever was a SpeedRunners 2, it should be kind of starting from there. And I know that Alex, the other founder of tinyBuild, is super into tournament games, and just he wants it to be more and more and more tournament stuff inside of SpeedRunners. And kind of what the community was already doing, and what like Kachan has been arranging like so much like good ranking and good tournament play, that it was like, what if there was a speedrunners that had more of that stuff, and how could it be bigger and how could it be weirder? So then after talking to tons of different people about it, someone I was like personally, I was like not thinking, I had stopped thinking about speedrunners because I thought it's never going to happen. There's never going to be any speedrunners. And then I got a ping from the producer, Anton at tinyBuild, on like figuring out what we could do with speedrunners. And he said, what about the guys who worked on this Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl game? And I said, hey, that is such a good idea, because it needs to be super good online. It needs to be like super clear. It needs to be like snappy and fast and mega reliable. You should get like a fighting game team on a new speedrunners. So then kind of after wanting to do a new speedrunners forever, and feeling like there's no way we could actually do something that fans would really like, finding this team and finding these guys and saying, oh, wait, this is the kind of team that you would have in a new speedrunners. We said, let's start brainstorming stuff. And then we started brainstorming stuff, I don't know, like 9 months ago or 12 months ago, something like that. How long ago did you start thinking about a SpeedRunners 2, guys at Fairplay?
I think it was around July that we started developing the game. So maybe earlier than that, June, May. It was the first time we had a conversation with you guys. So yeah, around that time. But we started development around July and August.
Yeah, I can say that a lot of people have been banging on our door for like years saying, why don't you guys make a new speedrunner? And there's been a lot of like weird, crazy, too weird pitches. So it took a long time to land on this one and say, okay, this is the one that we think we could deliver and everybody would like. So where did the idea come from? It was just always floating above our heads.
Yeah, and from our side, it was just like a natural connection, since we have this experience with platform fighters, and it was a great fit. We wanted to make the game. We saw so much potential, and we had so much fans of the original game in our team that we were so excited when we first had this initial conversations that we could enter and start developing a sequel to the game. So yeah, it was a match. It was a great match for both teams.
Nice. Well, George just wanted to let you know, Casper, Emil, and Great Jan, that he sent an invite and you can hop on in to play. If you're not already, because I know there's a delay.
We're playing with George, I think.
Oh, you are? Okay, cool. Someone asked, is SpeedRunners 1 online going to be shut down after SpeedRunners 2?
No. No, that's the answer. SpeedRunners will just exist next to SpeedRunners 2.
We cannot shut it down. It's peer-to-peer, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. There's no special servers or anything that you need to play it, so except from Steam. I
Oh
think
yeah,
you
that's
can play it
true.
for a
Even
while.
like whatever happens, you could just peer-to-peer up and always play speedrunner.
Yep.
Cool.
Do you think it's possible that the map editor will come to consoles in the future, maybe alongside an in-game method for publishing or playing custom levels outside of Steam Workshop?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest challenges of the map editor and the map content and cross-platform. So we're looking into how we can add this to the game in future updates. But yeah, currently, I hope we. I'm gonna say yes, and they're gonna kill me, but we hope so. It's part of the. It's such a iconic part of the first game that we want to bring that into this game as well.
Let me just go up and see if I missed some questions. How do you feel? This is a bit, balance related. How do you feel about item balance? Will you nerf the bomb? Will you change the item drop chance compared to the first game?
So regarding item balance and all that stuff, at the moment I believe it's similar or the same to SpeedRunners first. But since we're still like in active development, that is something that could definitely change in the future, as well as like many other things. We're going to be listening to community feedback and adjusting stuff that we might. We also think that we can adjust to better improve the balance of the game.
I was reading. I'm not like a pro speedrunners player by any metric, but I saw people. There's been like a lot of new conversation about speedrunners, so I've been reading all of it. I saw somebody say if you plant a bomb in like a tight tunnel and then detonate it, there's no way to get through the bomb. So like Kasparov Khetchan as like speedrunners experts, is that does the bomb need to be revisited, or is it like a get good situation?
I think with the bomb, there's some glitches that you can exploit a little bit. You can place them in the wall, and then you can definitely place them in such a way that they are nigh impossible to get rid of. The same with crates. You can place them in some places where it's not going to be fun for the other players. Good luck in trying to figure out how to. Well, obviously glitches can be fixed, but for instance, there's a strat where you can place a crate on a slope, and it'll slide down to the end of the slope, and it's going to make jumping off a slope really difficult. That's kind of just inherent in how the game rules work. So that's going to be tricky to I guess, to fix.
Yeah, now that you actually mentioned the being able to like paste or like put crates on the walls, that's actually something we saw that was possible in the first game, and since it like increases the possibilities for strategies, we actually kept that as a feature in the game. But we actually made it so it's like more intentional. So we included a VFX to like make it look like the crates and the bombs are like pasted to the walls. So it looks like it's like intentional instead of like a glitch.
Yeah. A lot of stuff in the original game is just bad programming turned into a glitch, turned into gameplay.
That's awesome. That's fun though.
Did you guys on the first game intend when if a player bounces off a slope ceiling and then they just like ping downwards, was that coded in, or was that like, oops, this is happening by accident?
There was definitely, oops, this is happening by accident.
Yeah. That's like a cornerstone of how to go fast now.
Yeah. There's actually, we're looking back at the updates we did on the original game, and one of the updates is just like, we've changed these 5 different things, and number 3 on that list was that you maintain momentum when you land on the slope. And that's like the main thing that you use to keep momentum and to get good at this game. It was just a very small fix that we didn't really intend to have big consequences.
Okay, so we have a question here. Do you guys have any personal characters from your favorite games you'd like to incorporate as a third-party DLC. Wouldn't that be cool?
I have this. My favorite character from any game is Cosmonaut Comrade. I'd like to see him come back, but we'll see if he ever shows up.
I hope so, because he's my favorite character in the game too.
Yeah, probably not a question we can really answer right now, though, in general.
I don't know, there's tons of...
we should
Someone
get a
asked...
li-
Oh, go ahead.
Spider-Man, maybe get a license deal with Sony, and yeah,
Yeah,
he
totally.
would be a good fit for the theme of the game.
That's true.
Yeah, he shoots
That was
webs.
really fun, yeah.
His
Yeah.
grapple would be different from everyone else's.
Somebody asked a minute ago, like, will the Scout come back? Which is, it's so bizarre that the Scout was like one of the first crossover characters.
Nope.
The Scout from TF2
Yeah.
in SpeedRunners 1. That happened because we were standing around at PAX and at like the Penny Arcade Expo. I don't know if that still is like everybody knows what that is, but we used to go every year and we were standing around showing speedrunners, and there was just a guy who liked the game, and as we were standing there all day, we would just chat to people and say, "Oh, what's your favorite game of the show? What are you doing?" And he'd say, like, there was this guy who was playing the game for like 20 minutes, and he said, "Oh, I animate the characters on Valve games." I was like, "Oh, which game?" And he said, "Oh, TF2." And being that I was working on speedrunners on character animations, this was like my favorite guy in the world. So I freaked out and said, "Man, it would be great to have like a TF2 character in speedrunners." And he said, "Oh yeah, I could probably do that. I'll just, when I get back to my desk on Monday, I'll just send you the files." And there was like nothing set up. So Valve is a bizarre company. It's like it's sometimes you get absolutely nothing, and then sometimes you bump into a guy at a bar and you just get Half-Life 3 on your desk. So I hope it happens again. We'll keep going to shows and we'll just keep talking to everyone and see if we can make some friends and see what kind of characters we can get.
Nice. Are the official maps coming back, and will there be a whole set of official maps in the new game?
So yes, there will be official maps, and we're also adding new maps. Which I know we don't have community Steam Workshop right now. We don't have like community made levels, but we have looked into the levels from the first game made by the community, and we have added lots of ideas that came from there, which are really, really cool. Our designers went into every the most popular levels from the community workshop, and they found like so many good ideas that we integrated into our new maps. So thank you for that, community.
Quick question here.
Yeah, I think something that I would like to mention regarding level design is that we will also have like different like biomes, let's call it. Like we will have stuff like Metro and Casino, but we'll also be adding like additional like layouts to each of these of these levels that we're like calling biomes, and they're going to be having like varying levels of difficulty. So we'll have like Metro A, which is like a more beginner friendly layout, and then we have like a Metro B that like reuses some of the assets but adds some like slight differences to the game to like cater to like a little bit more of a higher difficulty level. So we plan to do that for like all of the different biomes that we will have.
We have a quick question here. Will it be available on Mac?
Oh, you're muted. You have to unmute and answer again.
That's a great question. Sorry. Yeah, we're looking into a Mac version. We'll confirm that in a future update.
Nice. I saw a question about leaderboards. Are there going to be game time leaderboards for every map to compete with other players?
Yes. Basically. That's the answer.
Nice, yeah. And oh my goodness, let's see here. Uh, will we be able to customize skins and trails locally?
Yes.
Nice.
I saw a couple of cool questions in the chat. Can I
Yeah.
shout them out?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Golden Twig asks, is Sonic Picnic involved in the SpeedRunners 2 music?
I think they
Do
are.
you guys know, or should I answer? Because I got a note
Uh,
from Anton that says you should answer this.
Yeah, I think they did the remix for the trailer as well.
Yeah, we're talking to Sonic Picnic again about new music. It's the same music composer as from the first game that did the music in the new trailer. And I believe like we're still talking to them about new in-game music. So yeah, there's going to be stuff that you recognize and like remixes and updated versions and new music that's like the old music and touched by some of the people who worked on the old music.
I see this question that came up in the very beginning, but I think it was during an audio glitch. What will? Oh, sorry, I'm gonna repeat it because it's been coming up pretty frequently. What will happen to the old rated maps? Will you update them and add them to the game too?
So, what will happen to the old maps? That was the question?
Yeah, the old rated custom maps.
Oh, the old rated custom maps.
Sorry,
Okay,
I
so we're looking into adding community content into the game as much as possible, but for now we have just the official original maps with this variation, with this layout variation. So that's what we're including in this first version of the game.
Well, you have different tiles which have different properties, similar to sand or dirt in Trackmania.
Emil, do you want to answer that?
So regarding like different tiles or something, it's something that we have thought about. Also, not something that's like implemented. I think one cool thing. I don't know if I'm spoiling a little bit, but one like new material that we have added to like stages, like one thing that we can like now do is that we actually have glass now. So like there may be certain parts in certain stages where you need to go at a certain amount of speed to be able to break the glass and unlock new paths. Aside from that, like different materials that maybe like slow you down or something like that, it's something that could be interesting to look into, but not something that has been like implemented yet. As well as other stuff, we're going to be listening to community feedback and then maybe implementing stuff that the community wants.
Will speedrunners have peer-to-peer?
No, it's rollback netcode.
Okay. And will there be a tutorial showcasing the usage of slopes and momentum for new players?
Yes, regarding tutorials, I mentioned earlier that we're going to be having like more tools for practice. So like we're going to have stuff like, since a lot of us have like in the design team a fighting game background, we know how important like practice tools are. So we're definitely very familiar with stuff like frame by frame modes and stuff like that to help people practice. And so we will be implementing stuff like that, as well as like tutorials to specifically teach players how to do certain stuff. We have like the same tutorial that we have for the original game, but we also have some tutorials with specific stages to teach people specific mechanics. So like maintaining speed, gaining speed, all of the stuff, like even stuff like I believe it's called, I forgot what the name of it is, but I think it's like slope surf. So we have tutorials to teach stuff like that to players, to new players.
Will the community be able to help balance items? Like you have a group of top players or dedicated players that know a lot about the game, be able to give feedback on balance-related things?
That's an amazing idea, and we're looking into that with tinyBuild, so we can have. I think we have already Discord setup for the game, and we have a closed group which is looking into the early builds in the game, and we hope we can expand that into a larger group and bring in new people. So yeah, we'll let you know if we have open spaces for that Discord server.
I was talking this morning at tinyBuild about who were like these super top ranked players in SpeedRunners. I talked to someone who's working on the game now. He said they're looking at players who are like winning contemporary tournaments now, and also that I should go and send messages to like super high ranked big community players who have like made videos and been in tournaments from years ago, back when I was working on the game. So yeah, we're totally like talking to people who are good at the game now, people who are highly ranked, people who used to be highly ranked and big in the community. I keep seeing names in the chat that people are like, get this guy on, get this guy on. And people are saying, pick me. If you're in the chat, name a SpeedRunners player that you think is like the best, most knowledgeable SpeedRunners player. And we'll write it down and see what we can do.
Will mod support go further than custom maps? For example, custom characters, different map textures, sounds, etc. Oh, here goes the chat. Oh, there you go. Edak. Edak, am I saying that right? Benson.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Remember him?
Okay, to answer your question, we're looking into ways we can customize the game. We are starting with characters and trails and all sort of like special effects that we want to have. We want to. The player will be able to edit and customize, and after that, we'll be looking into how we can edit the maps in specific ways, in new ways as well. So yeah, please look forward to that.
We've got a question here. How about the campaign and lore? Will there be a bigger one in SpeedRunners 2? And will the AI of bots be improved a bit so the bots don't get stuck on jumpable walls, for example?
So I can answer regarding the bots. The bots have definitely been like tuned a lot. We will be tuning them like even further if there's like any issues with them reported by the community. But definitely bots is something that we're looking into improving them as much as we can so that they can really be like challenging for players who may not be able to like play online in that moment or something, and they still want to get like some decent practice. So we'll definitely be tweaking bots as much as we can to make them like engaging to play against.
Will the tackle mechanics remain the same? Remain in the game?
So I'm gonna be fully honest here. The way we have tackle implemented at the moment in the game, we actually did increase its force a little bit, and it's received mixed feedback at the moment. So we will be looking into whether we want to like make it closer to what the first game has, or if we still want to keep it like super strong. Because there's definitely like an argument to be made that it makes it like a little bit more of an interactive mechanic, but then it could still be like a little bit frustrating to some people. So we're definitely going to play testing it a lot more for like this sort of mechanics. We think playtesting is very important, and then seeing what the player feedback and like emotions are when they experiment the mechanics. So we're going to be looking into how players react to it. So it may or may not remain the same depending on playtesting.
Yeah, tackling was such a difficult mechanic to get right in the first game, with netcode and everything, and players being all over the place. It's tough. It's difficult.
We have some more questions on if there will be PC and console crossplay. I think we... Yeah.
Yes, so we're working on the console ports. We announced that they were going to be available next year, and we're looking into crossplay.
Will we have the options to customize characters?
for the release of the game, we want to be able to change skins, change particle effects. The characters also have an outline around them. The player will be able to edit that as well. So we want to give as many as customization as possible. And if you're thinking about like changing models to custom models, no, that's not going to be available. But we are going to have as many customization as possible in the first version.
I'm seeing a lot of questions about the price range. I don't think that's something we can answer right now. It might be TBD, but maybe I don't know if we can add more insight on that. Probably not yet. Why did you decide to change it from 2D to 3D? What advantages, differences stand out from this change?
So the change from 2D to 3D, it's actually a difficult one because we know that we have like full control in the 2D version versus when you convert it into 3D, there are many other. Well, you have depth, right? So depth plays a lot into the gameplay. So the decision was more of a visual upgrade that we wanted to add, but we were very careful in creating new and detailed maps that wouldn't affect gameplay. So we're working very carefully on that, on gameplay. Gameplay comes first, of course, and we just want to have very good looking maps for new players, for players that haven't experienced speedrunners to come in and just I don't know, just get into new audiences and just make it look totally different from the first game without compromising gameplay, which is something that we is something very important for us.
And will single player content be like SpeedRunners Flash or just bot matches?
So regarding single player content, we will have like the training mode and tutorial that we mentioned before. We're still looking into like what a single player campaign would look like for this game. So it's something that's definitely been on the talk, something that we have thought a little bit about so far. Not something that we have like implemented yet or something. We will be listening again to community feedback and stuff. And there will also be bot matches for people who want to play, who play like single player as well.
Will the trails from the previous game be available in the new one?
We're gonna have lots of options available. Not sure if we're gonna have all of the options from the first game because I know there's a lot, but we're gonna have lots of customization.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions about skins here. Will skins or customizable be paid or unlocked via gameplay?
I don't think we have an answer for that right now.
And will you introduce old skins from the first part for the characters? For example, we have Cosmo as a character and we can pick a skin for him from SpeedRunners 1. Wait, Speedrun 1.
We're looking into that.
Are there any new mechanics you would be willing to discuss?
So regarding new mechanics, at the moment we have mostly focused on like emulating the first game as much as we can. I did mention like earlier some more like level design mechanics, like the glass, where you need to like go to a certain at a certain speed to like be able to break that glass and unlock like new paths for certain levels. That's one of the newest things we have. Aside from that, we also have like we mentioned how we wanted to like take some of the stuff that were like glitches in the first game and make them like actually intentional mechanics. So stuff like I believe it's like pasting like crates against the wall, and then like actually having that be like intentional by like including a VFX that makes it look like they're pasted to the wall. Same with like crates. We have adjusted like the timing for like some of these advanced mechanics. So like for example for slow absorb, which I know is one of like the hardest mechanics in this game, which actually gives you a lot of speed. We actually did include like a VFX to ensure that the player knows they managed to successfully pull one of these. So in terms of like mechanics, we have like tweaked some of the stuff that was in the first game, but to make them a little bit more intentional, we have tweaked them a little bit. And like more new stuff. I know some people have mentioned like perks or like character specific abilities or stuff like that. It's stuff that we have talked about but have not like really like committed to like experimenting with yet, but it's something that's like on the table. So I know I've said this a lot before, but we're really listening to the community and like taking notes of all of the feedback that everyone has. So who knows, maybe like if people like ask for something a lot, we may be able to like add it in the future. Regarding new mechanics, there's also the possibility of new items that we have talked about, something that we would like to experiment with. So keep the feedback coming and we will be listening.
Is there a reverse grappling?
What was that?
Reverse grapple.
Oh, reverse grapple. I believe reverse grapple is implemented, yes.
Nice.
Yeah, we
I've
thought
never
it
been
was a
able
fun
to do it,
mechanic.
so I'm looking forward to doing it in SpeedRunners too.
Yeah, I believe we actually made it a little bit easier, like a very few frames difference, so to make it like a little bit easier. We actually thought it was pretty cool because it reminds us a little bit of like certain mechanics in platform fighters, which are like B reverses and wave bounces and stuff like that. So we thought it was like pretty cool that you could do something like that with the main grapple mechanic in this game.
Cool.
I saw a question from Artie that said, how are you planning to get community feedback? There's a Discord. There's a Discord for the newly announced game. And there's like a whole channel for like post suggestions, post what you think about where the game's at now. There's tons of people already talking about what they think about the game. And yeah, there's going to be in the future, of course, there's going to be like beta testers and stuff. We're already seeing who we can contact, like who we know will be taking part in beta tests, and then it'll get like more and more open as we get further into the game.
Yeah, join the Discord. George, maybe you can send a link in the chat so you guys can hop on there. There was a question, who makes the music?
The music that's in the game so far is Sonic Picnic, who worked on SpeedRunners 1. So if you like some of the music from SpeedRunners 1, it's visiting that guy 10 years, 12 years later.
That's awesome.
So there's a couple of people keep asking, is the gameplay faster than SpeedRunners 1? You can go infinitely fast in SpeedRunners 1. You can go crazy fast. Like, if you want the gameplay to be faster, get better at the game. Look up the highest ranked, look up like Diamond tier SpeedRunners gameplay. It's ballistic fast. So, yeah, it's not, I don't think it's going to be slower. We're not planning on making it slow runners.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe you guys playing right now, maybe you could go a bit
playing.
faster to show them how fast you can go.
I would love to, but I don't think my skill manages to do that.
In general, will computers that can run SpeedRunners 2 be able to run SpeedRunners 1 will be able to run SpeedRunners 2, or will it be for more high-end computers?
We're definitely creating a very optimized game. I'm not sure if I can promise that a computer that ran the game 10 years ago will run the same. Will run this game, but we'll definitely making a very optimized experience for everyone, that everyone can experience it.
Oh, regarding the speed is capped to 1500. Is there going to be a cap to the speed too?
There will be a speed cap, yes. But due to the engine differences, the numbers will probably look very different in this game, in the new game, I mean. So I don't think that the number is going to be the exact same, but we're looking into like having the feel of the numbers we're using be the same to the first game.
And on the topic of caps, will there be a cap for FPS? So will they be able to unlock the cap past 60 FPS?
That's a great question. We'll look into that.
Can I ask? I'm not like a programmer, or I'm not a good programmer. Can I ask, He-chan, what does it mean that the speed is capped at 1500 in SpeedRunners?
It actually, this may be more a question for Casper.
Yeah. So 1500 means 1500 pixels a second. So the character, if he goes faster than 1500 pixels a second across the screen, we'll just cap it. We'll just say, okay, stop it. You're going too fast. You need to slow down. And that's
why
the number.
Why is there a cap? How do you land on 1500?
I think we originally implemented it because it's like the terminal velocity of falling down. Otherwise, you could just like fall down really far, and then you would get like a gigantic amount of speed, and the game would just not work well. You would glitch through walls. You would do all kinds of crazy things. So we just said, okay, we'll cap it at 1500. No one's going to be that fast. But yeah, we were wrong.
Yeah.
I saw people in the chat saying SpeedRunners 1 is perfectly capped, so that's work.
Okay, thanks.
They say keep it 1500. Interesting. Okay. You should test with like 1600, 1700, see what happens. But it's interesting that there's people who know the cap and they're like, this is my comfortable terminal velocity.
Is the speed cap different in Super Speedrunners?
No, it's still 1500. Yeah.
There was a playtest question about will you be inviting new players to this playtest or only top players?
Playtests are like an evolving thing. We're right at the beginning right now, so it's going to be consistent, like testing out the game, getting new beta people in and out all the time. So if you're not seeing the game right now, there'll be plenty of beta tests before the game releases.
What's the lore of humanoid animal characters, such as Salem and Buckshot?
Yeah, that's a question for Tom.
I think there was a second part to that question.
Oh, are they furries?
Right, okay, interesting. Yeah, what is the lore? For a while, I remember we were saying, no, there's no animal people. They're wearing like animal costumes.
Right.
And then it like flipped between them being animal people. I know that the Falcon is wearing a costume. Gil is wearing a costume. I'm pretty sure Neko is wearing a costume. But then Buckshot is like too weird. I'm going to say it's official canon lore that they are animal people. And also they are furries. So
Yeah, what is the least offensive version of this?
They are. It's thumbs up. 2 thumbs up on all accounts.
Okay, let's get a couple more here. Is there any questions that popped up that you saw in chat that you found interesting that you wanted to answer before I grab some more?
There was one that I kept wanting to read out, but I thought this is too stupid. But I'll read it out.
Okay.
Someone said, are you opposed to song parodies of speedrunners?
Oh, here's
So
that.
can I get like around the table one by one? Emil, are you opposed to song parodies of speedrunners?
What was that? What's the word?
If people were to sing songs about speedrunners as fans, would you be opposed to it?
I'm actually, funny thing, I'm actually also a musician, so I enjoy like any type of like music creativity. I personally, on a personal level, I don't think that would be a problem.
Okay, thumbs up. Casper,
Just be
song
respectful,
parodies
I
on
guess.
speedrunners? How do you
I
feel?
think that's a huge problem. I mean, SpeedRunners is a very serious game, and it's not a place for parody. So, I don't know. It's a no for me.
Okay, He-chan?
I say hell yeah, do it. Wanna hear
Okay,
it.
awesome. Yeah, Diego?
Yeah, please do it. We have so much fun with this. Please go ahead.
I hope that answers that question. It was really interesting. There was some split down to the team, down to the
That's awesome. I saw a question about will there be tournaments at launch? I'm certain the CM team will be looking into that. Yeah, setting those up. We actually have a tournament coming up for SpeedRunners 1 on Discord and on the community Steam page. That's happening on the 26th of April, so you can check that out. It's on the 26th. We have a lot of repeating questions, like will there be new items? Is there an advanced wall climb?
Advanced wall climb.
Advanced, yeah.
Okay. If we're thinking of the same thing, then there probably is, yeah. It's actually tricky to answer some of these things because, like, especially stuff that has been named by community, I'm actually not sure if they have like a standard name. For a lot of like the advanced techniques that I've mentioned before that we replicated for the second game, we went into like community videos and like watched them and saw the naming the conventions that they were using. But since there's like no official names, I could tell you that we implement like a way to like climb walls. I'm not sure if it's the one you're referring to because since there are maybe there's not like a standard name for these things, or maybe there is. I'm actually not sure. But we do have like something that looks like what you're saying, I think. So I will answer with yes, and in the case that there isn't, we will be looking into that for sure.
Nice. I saw a question also come up, will there be more gold characters? And there was another question earlier on about character skins, if there's going to be like more variety to the skins or it's like different colors.
So we're gonna have both. We're gonna have a recolored original skins or base skins, and we're gonna have more model changes, which will also feature different color palettes the player will be able to choose. So we want to change. We want to go both ways. We want to add recolors and new models with recolors as well.
We've got some answers about the advanced wall climb. It's jumping away, holding both directions, and then jumping back to it. Can we get Alex back? Oh, sorry. I'm jumping on the...
There was, yeah, I read someone was like describing what an advanced wall jump is. It's when you jump, it's when you do a wall jump, but you're holding left and right keys on the keyboard at the same time, so you don't jump away from the wall, so you can just kind of hammer your way up the wall. That sounds like a bug. For the guys in the original game, does that sound like a bug or is that a feature?
It is a non-intentional feature.
So you're okay with people doing this in like tournament gameplay?
I don't think it's the most fun way to play the game, I guess, but yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay. What do you think, George? Should we take a couple more or end it here? I saw a question. Alex and Tom comment. Can we get them back as commentator for Alex and Tom?
Yeah, so back in like 2011 or something, we used to host a tournament called King of Speed, which is where the name King of Speed came from. Somebody, I think, ages ago, Alex said to me, "Hey, you know, SpeedRunners 2, I think could be called like Heroes of Momentum," and I said, "Call it King of Speed." And he said, "King of Speed," because we used to host tournaments called King of Speed, where we do like a YouTube stream and just shout about what was happening on the screen, and then somebody would win something. Oh, there was one. Oh no, it's a different thing. There was a whole event where like Cosmonaut became King Cosmo and he was the King of Speed, but we kept using the name for different things. Will Alex and Tom come back to commentate King of Speed? No, never. I don't know, we'll see. If everybody's available, we'll see in the future, in the far-flung future, maybe.
We have a repeat a question on the trail editor. I know it was answered already, but someone's asking if there's going to be changes and how it compares to the first game editor.
We want to give the players more customization with the trail editor. But probably won't have as many as, I mean, we have 10 years of content with the first game, but we're giving as many content as we can, and we'll be able to edit colors and edit all sort of stuff. I think we can even edit the textures. So there will be lots of customization in the trail from the beginning.
And will the collabs from the first game come back?
I don't know what they mean by
I
collab.
think I mean the YouTuber collabs.
Yeah.
The deals.
Okay, yeah, that would be something that we'd have to like look at again, because the YouTubers in the first game was like, who's hot right now today, and we would like meet them at events and say, hey, you like speedrunners? You want to be in speedrunners? And it was like people who are streaming speedrunners. So if there's any kind of collaboration today, it would be totally new, different types of people. It would be like, I don't know who streams speedrunners today. People keep saying like RDC streams speedrunners. You should reach out to these guys. I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be from the ground up, talking about it, seeing what happens next.
And then there was a question about ranked team. Shoot, I lost it.
I think I saw a couple of people asking about like team runners.
There
like,
it is.
Can you play 2v2 or can you like team up?
Yeah, team runners for ranked match. Yeah,
I don't know. There's some things that are like still in the air, still in production, still in decisions. What about you guys at Fair Play Labs? Do you team up in this game? Can you talk about it yet?
It's something that's also not implemented into the game, but if people like that a lot, we could definitely look into it. I think it sounds like a fun idea for sure, especially now that we have 8 players available for the game. It could be interesting to like tweak the amount of people that can go in a team or something like that. I don't know. I'm just like saying stuff out in the air. It's not stuff that we have talked about yet, but I think it will be definitely interesting to experiment with at some point. And if people like team battles, let us know. We will definitely look into bumping that and see how much we can implement in the future.
Yes, please echo any great ideas you have. We at this point we're in a point in production where we're looking into new features and new game modes, and we just want to know what you guys want. So that's very important for us. Teams are something that's been in the conversation, and as well as having teams for other types of modes. So if you have any idea for any mode you want, there's not a thing like a bad idea. So please let us know what you want, and we'll see what we can do. Basically.
Is there going to be a ban system implemented for maps in a lobby?
Yeah, Emil, I don't know if we're gonna have a ban system. I think we're probably gonna have
a what? Sorry.
Banning
system.
Oh, yeah. Banning system. Actually, that's an interesting idea. It's not something that we have thought about, but it seems interesting. Makes a lot of sense for a game like this. So yeah, as you can tell from my surprise, it's something we are not implemented yet. But it sounds like a very interesting idea. We could look into it for sure.
We have a question. I'm not sure if we can answer that one yet, but will high hour Speedrunner 1 players get closed beta keys for Speedrunners 2?
Beta stuff is still evolving. I don't know the plans for beta stuff between now and like game release, but we know that there's going to be a lot of tests, and we at tinyBuild and at Fair Play, we know who all the highest players are right now and who all the highest players are for the past. So we're already reaching out to some of those people to like check out the game and see what they think. And also, you can join the Discord to keep in touch with like when tests will be available, when the game's going to open up more, and like give suggestions and give what your dream stuff is for the new game.
Yeah, I think we should close it up here. It's been a little bit over an hour, so anything else you guys want to add or answer? Otherwise,
I think something that I just remembered that we actually added as a new mechanic in the first game, something that we're testing out, is that because I just remembered because I got frozen while I'm playing the game, and something that we actually added in the second game is that you can actually mash out of the freeze state after you're hit by a freeze ray to like shorten the amount of duration of the freeze and to make it like a little bit more interactive. It's again like something we're testing out and something that we're currently enjoying as a mechanic. So we're going to be like asking for community opinions on it. But yeah, we have like mashing as a mechanic for like getting out of the freeze state. So I just remember that and wanted to like add that we added that into the game.
I'm going to add one last quick question. Will the file system for storing textures and skins still be in .xnb format? The question is about creating local skins by redrawing files.
Well, so since we're using a very different game engine and framework, we'll probably don't have or support that file type specifically, but we will make sure we have a way to edit textures, so you guys can edit it and customize it at some point.
Sweet. Well,
Could I shout out one that I thought was really interesting?
absolutely, yeah.
Okay, somebody asked a couple times, will the original maps be in the game, or will they be like remixes of the original maps? Now, I know that I've seen the game behind the scenes, and I know there's some maps already in there that are like the maps from the first game. And so for the guys at Fair Play Labs, are the levels that you've made so far exactly like the maps from the first game, or did you decide to change anything about them?
So regarding map design, for maps that are like completely new, because there will be like new biomes. I don't know if Diego wants to like spoil one of the new biomes, so we'll keep it a surprise.
No, keep it a surprise.
Okay, that sounds cool. But in any case, so we're like remaking some of the levels, but I mentioned earlier how we're going to have like different layouts for each biome. So in the case of like, let's say Metro, so we have like the Metro A level, which is basically like the basic form of Metro, and then we're going to be doing that like as close to the first game as possible as we can. And then we will have like varying like layouts. So we'll have like a Metro B layout, which is Metro A, but with like certain differences to like increase like the possibility for like skill expression and like difficulty of the map. So there will be both. We will have like the original maps from the game, and then we will also have like varying layouts, like our own like ideas for them.
Cool, interesting. That's a good answer.
Thank you.
Cool. Well, thank you all so much for joining us today, and thanks so much to Double Dutch and Fair Play Labs for your time and answering all the questions. I'm just also gonna quick reminder that there's a SpeedRunners 1 tournament called Win It Before You Can Buy It. That's going to be happening on April 26th, where you can win a Steam key for SpeedRunners 2 before it releases. So, yeah, check out the SpeedRunners Discord and or Steam community page for more info on that, on the first game. Great. Well, thank you all. Have a great week, and we'll see you on Discord.
Thank you so much for joining. Very excited for the game.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Thank you so much for your time, everyone. Hope
Bye,
everyone has an
SpeedRunners
amazing day.
players. Love you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
All right, bye bye, everyone.